I'm James Nelson. I farm here in Audubon County in west central Iowa, and this is the oil drain cart I built to make changing oil a little more enjoyable. We always used to use just 5-gallon buckets, and the oil capacity on a lot of our machinery is more than 5 gallons now. And so we'd have to switch buckets, and then it was always a pain transferring out of the 5-gallon buckets into other barrels, and just handling it was never a fun job. So I came up with the idea to have an air evacuated system where I drain the oil into it, and then I close off the hole that enters the chamber, and then I pressurize it and I pump the oil out. And right now I'm set up to pump it through the wall into a 250-gallon bulk tank. It's almost all constructed out of 1/4-inch flat steel, and I used 4 caster wheels and just some basic plumbing and valves. At this point, I probably wouldn't change anything. I've got it working just how I want. When I initially built it, I did not have the vent. I didn't have the oil chamber vented, and so if I was dumping really hot oil, it would kind of bubble out of there because the air didn't have a way to escape. So I added that, and at this point I'm very happy with how it works. For more about this idea and other farmer inventions, go to agriculture.com/TV.
Hi, I'm Jesse Lutz from Mason City, Iowa. When designing our new workbench and shop, one of the problems we had before was cluttered up cordless tools with the battery chargers and all the batteries. So we decided to enclose it in the workbench and make a drawer pull out with a outlet in the drawer, so that for one, the clutter is hidden, and also it's in a metal drawer, a little safer than a wooden shelf as far as a fire hazard. I also attached it to a timer so that I know if I leave it plugged in that it's only going to be on for a certain amount of time. For more about this and other shop ideas, go to agriculture.com/TV.
I'm Lance Rezac, and I farm south of Onega with my brother. A few years ago, when we built our shop, I wanted a good spot to keep all our lubrication and all our oil and grease and anything that is greasy or messy, because so often in a shop, that's a messy place. It started out as a 300-gallon fuel barrel, and I was just going to make it like a grill where I could open it up and put used filters in it and let them drain out. And as I started building and kept the tank open, I thought, well, it'd be handy if I had an area above that and I could set my bulk oil on it, and that way when we shut those off, they could drip into the same container and not make a mess. And so we started to build it taller, and I thought, well, it'd also be handy if we had a place for a few barrels. And so we built an area off to the right that is hooked to it, where we can put barrels inside of the stand too. And so anytime you get oil out of them and then you shut them off, that oil also drips into the recycling. And then I wanted a containment area you always have a lot of buckets and trays to catch oil in and stuff. I wanted an area we could put them in there and let them all drain out also, so it would keep the shop clean. And so on the left of the air container, we went ahead and built another area just to store used oil containment buckets and trays and stuff. And then everything in there has a graded floor with a tray underneath of it that drains all the oil to the center of the barrel. For construction of the cabinet, we started out with basically 2x2 square tubing, and we built a frame that was able to support the hydraulic and engine oil that we keep in bulk above it. And then we went ahead and closed it in with just some 1/8-inch sheet metal. The one thing I did do, our doors on the front, I leaned them back on top so we don't have to have latches, so they naturally fall shut, because I want to keep it shut because that keeps the dust out of your used oil, keeps all your funnels and everything clean. And so I wanted to make it so it'd be easy to open and close. There's no latches, but the doors will stay shut just with gravity because the top of them are leaned back. For more about this or other farmer ideas, go to agriculture.com/TV.
I'm Stephen Garver from Marion, Arkansas. I took a large knuckle boom crane that was intended for a truck and adapted it to operate on, bolt it to my shop floor and run it with electric motor and a pump. We had a contractor come in and cut a hole in the floor, and we dug it out And he put rebar in there, and I fabricated the stud pattern to secure the crane to the floor. And then we put everything together, and he put the concrete in, and everything came out good, and set the crane on the bolts and secured everything. It operates with an electric motor, 30 horsepower electric motor, and hydraulic pump, and right now it's manually controlled. And we can use it to operate, to pick up, remove engine transmissions from trucks, any application we need, respecting the capacity of the crane rating. It's very handy and maneuverable. I can extend it out to reach all over my shop and also turn it around and reach 20 foot out the door. Now this crane is made to be folded up behind the cab of a truck. And I have a workbench next to the crane, and I elected to put a support pole and leave it extended out somewhat, that it supported the pole, or the pole supported the crane, so that it didn't creep down in the middle of the night and set the alarm off. And it was easier and it didn't take up as much room as it would have been if it had to fold it up every time. Maintenance is minimal because this unit is not exposed to the elements. Grease it every so often and change the hydraulic filter on the oil tank. With the crane and the installation of concrete and electrical components to make it, and pump to make it work, around $15,000. What would make this really handy would be have remote control. That would have manual control at this time. It's okay, but it would be handy to have remote control. And that's an additional cost. It can be added. For more about this idea and other farmer inventions, go to agriculture.com/TV.
Hi, I'm Dave Mowitz. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit subscribe right here if you haven't already, and click that little bell right here to be notified when we post a new video. And click here to see more great videos.